Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into advanced persistent threat protection, APT protection for short.
Right. It's a big topic.
It really is. We've got this detailed market report full of data, and our mission for you, the learner, is pretty straightforward. Cut through the jargon, understand this critical cybersecurity space.
Yeah. Who the major players are, where things are headed.
Exactly. And why it matters now more than ever, with cyber attacks getting so much more sophisticated. It's crucial stuff.
Absolutely. It's not just about definitions. It's about the real challenges organizations face and the different strategies they're using against these, well, advanced threats.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. This report, it shows a market that's already huge and growing, frankly, incredibly fast. So in 2023, it was worth about $7.15 billion. But get this, the projection is for nearly $32 billion by 2032.
Wow.
That's a compound annual growth rate over 20%. I mean, that's massive growth. What's driving that?
Well, there are a few big things. The report really highlights the relentless increase in cyber attacks. They're just happening more often, and they're way more complex.
It feels like an arms race sometimes.
It really is. And then you've got regulatory compliance. More rules across different industries are basically forcing companies to, well, beef up their security.
Makes sense.
And of course, the big shift to the cloud. That brings its own set of security headaches, needing more advanced protection.
Yeah, that tracks. The more digital we become, the bigger the attack surface, right?
Right.
And the report points out that companies aren't just reacting anymore. They're trying to be proactive, defending networks, defending data before these complex threats hit. Digital transformation is great, but yeah, it opens doors for attackers.
No question. It expands the vulnerability. So APT protection is really about having like layers of defense, not just cleaning up after a breach, but stopping it beforehand.
Detecting those hidden threats.
Exactly. Identifying threats that could be lurking inside a system for ages.
So geographically speaking, North America is leading the charge right now in this market. Why is that?
It's kind of a perfect storm of factors based on the report.
Right.
First, you've got a lot of the big cybersecurity vendors based there, so an innovation hub, plus advanced IT infrastructure, which helps adopt these tools. Strict regulations in finance, healthcare, those key sectors, they mandate strong security.
Right.
And North America was kind of an early adopter of these solutions historically.
Yeah.
They've invested heavily in R&D.
And probably lots of big targets, too.
Precisely. A high concentration of large enterprises that are, prime targets for APTs. That drives huge demand.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture of the overall market. So who are the giants? The report calls out the top manufacturing companies. Let's start with Cisco Systems. Founded way back, 1984, San Jose. We know them for networking, but their security side is pretty significant.
Oh, absolutely. Networking is their foundation, sure, but they've built a really substantial cybersecurity business. They serve everyone from government to healthcare, finance.
Leg reached.
Yeah. And their strategy for APT protection. It's about advanced threat detection, cloud security, network security, and they're leaning heavily on AI and machine learning now.
How does the AI help there, practically?
Well, for instance, their AI can analyze network traffic patterns, looking for tiny anomalies, things that might signal a sophisticated attack that, honestly, a human might miss in all that data noise.
And they have that SecureX platform, right? Aiming for that single view, automated response. Sounds like a big plus for dealing with these complex threats.
It is. Integration is key.
The numbers are pretty big, too. Total 2023 revenue around $54 billion. Security specifically was about $3.6 billion, but growing fast year over year. Gives them roughly, 15% market share in APT protection?
That's the estimate, yeah. Cisco's advantage is that huge reach, and they can bake security right into their core networking stuff if you already use Cisco networking.
Adding their security is a potentially easier step.
Got it. Okay, next. Microsoft, founded 75, Redmond. Obviously huge, and their move into cloud and AI has really shifted their security game. Totally. Microsoft security is now woven right into their whole ecosystem. Think Microsoft Defender, Azure Security Center, Microsoft Sentinel.
All leveraging that massive cloud power.
Exactly. And AI. Their whole pitch is integrated security across all the platforms and devices people use. Their AI models, for example, are crunching billions of signals globally to spot emerging threats.
Proactive protection.
Yes. And their overall business is just immense. $211 billion revenue in 2023. The report figures their security solutions bring in maybe $20 billion of that.
Wow. So that puts their APT market share around 25%. That's dominant. Shows how central security is to them now.
It really does. Their Azure cloud gives them incredible scale. They can deliver sophisticated threat intel and protection globally to just a massive user base.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Palo Alto Networks. Newer company, 2005, Santa Clara. They really made a name for themselves with innovative network security, didn't they?
They did. Started strong with next-gen firewalls, but now they're much broader cloud security, endpoint protection too, comprehensive.
And their key platforms, Cortex and Prisma.
Right. Cortex is for AI-driven security operations. Prisma handles cloud security. Those are central to their APT strategy. They push this holistic view threat intel across network, cloud, endpoint, trying to stop attacks wherever they might start.
How's their AI used?
Well, Cortex, for example, analyzes security data from everywhere in the organization to spot coordinated attacks, things you might miss looking at pieces in isolation.
Interesting. Their 2023 revenue was about $6.9 billion total. The report links maybe $2 billion of that specifically to APT protection. So their market share is around 12%. The report credits their AI-driven threat detection work for that. So smaller overall than the giants, but a really focused chunk on this high-growth APT area.
That's right. Palo Alto has always positioned itself as an innovator, especially in things like those next-gen firewalls designed for deeper inspection and blocking complex attacks.
Okay, number 4, McAfee. Another established name, 1987, also San Jose. Known for antivirus, sure, but they do enterprise stuff too.
Yep, consumers and enterprises. They offer a wide range cloud, network, endpoint security. Their mVision infrastructure is their platform for managing security, data loss prevention, DLP, threat detection.
So integration again?
Yeah, they focus on robust, integrated protection, but also try to keep it relatively easy to use. Their DLP, for instance, is key for stopping attackers from sneaking sensitive data out once they're inside.
Their 2023 total revenue was around $3 billion. APT protection making up maybe $900 million of that.
Roughly, yeah.
Puts their market share around 7%. The report notes their focus on automated integrated defense, so maybe not the biggest share, but still a significant, long-standing player.
Definitely. McAfee's brand recognition and history give them a solid base. They keep evolving their products for the current threat landscape, often focusing on simplifying security management.
And the last of the big 5, CrowdStrike. Newer still, 2001, Sunnyvale. They seem known for a fresh approach cyber attack response, intel, and especially endpoint security.
CrowdStrike really did shake up the endpoint market with their Falcon platform. It's built cloud native from the ground up.
That's different.
Yeah, and it integrates AI and machine learning for real-time threat response. They hammer home the intelligence-driven aspect and speed. That makes them popular for companies facing really targeted, nasty attacks.
And the cloud native part helps how?
Faster deployment, easier scaling. Plus, their AI models learn constantly from all the endpoint data they see globally, helping them block new threats quicker.
Their 2023 revenue, $2.4 billion. And the estimate for APT protection revenue is $1.2 billion.
So a big chunk of their business.
Right. Gives them about 10% market share, driven largely by that endpoint leadership. Seems like a more specialized but very impactful player.
That sums it up well. Their modern cloud-first platform with strong AI detection and response really hit a nerve with organizations wanting to move past older endpoint solutions. Speed and effectiveness against advanced threats are their calling cards.
So that's the current top tier. But importantly, the report flags some rising challengers. Companies that could potentially disrupt things. Who are we talking about and what's their angle?
Yeah, it's never static in cybersecurity, right? There are definitely companies making waves. The report specifically mentions Kaspersky Labs, Sophos, CyberArk, and ForcePoint. Each has a unique strength.
Okay, let's take them one by one. Kaspersky Labs. The report even suggests they could challenge someone like CrowdStrike. Why?
Well, Kaspersky has this reputation for really sophisticated tech. Endpoint, deep threat intelligence, incident response. They cover a lot. Their research arm is top-notch. They have a huge global threat intel network. Often they're the ones uncovering major global cyber espionage stuff.
So deep expertise.
Exactly. They use a mix of AI and human experts to find and stop advanced threats. That gives them an edge, especially in markets where their brand is, still very trusted. Their portfolio is comprehensive.
Okay. What about Sophos, highlighted as a threat to the bigger players?
Sophos' angle is often user-friendly, powerful, and cost-effective security. They also lean heavily into AI and machine learning across their products.
Appealing to maybe smaller companies.
Definitely SMBs, yeah. They want comprehensive protection that isn't overly complex to manage. And Sophos has this synchronized security idea.
How does that work?
Basically, their endpoint and network products talk to each other in real time, sharing threat info. It helps coordinate the defense better. That integration simplifies things and boosts response, especially if you don't have a massive security team.
Clever. Okay, CyberArk software. Their focus is privileged access management, PAM. Why is PAM so crucial for APTs?
Because APTs very often go after privileged accounts, admin accounts. That's how they move around inside network, get to the crown jewels, the critical systems, and data.
Ah.
CyberArk specializes in locking down those high-value accounts and identities. That makes them a potential disruptor because organizations are realizing just how dangerous insider threats and compromised admin accounts are for these advanced attacks.
So a focused niche that's becoming more critical.
Exactly. They address a core vulnerability that maybe broader security suites don't handle with the same depth.
And the last challenger mentioned, ForcePoint. Their thing is human-centric cybersecurity. What does that mean?
ForcePoint looks at user behavior to spot and stop threats. Their data loss prevention, DLP, is strong and ties into this.
So watching how people interact with data.
Pretty much. Analyzing user activity for anything risky or anomalous that might signal, say, a compromised insider or an attacker using stolen login details. It's a different angle, proactive, focused on user behavior, not just the network edge or the endpoint.
Could appeal to companies wanting a more behavioral defense?
Potentially, yes. It's a different philosophy that could counter certain types of APTs effectively.
Okay, so these challengers all bring something different to the table. For a brand new company trying to break into this crowded APT market, what does the report say are the keys to success?
Well, several critical factors emerge. First, and maybe most important, is deep integration of AI. Artificial intelligence isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's baseline for detecting and responding to advanced threats effectively.
Foundational.
Absolutely. Newcomers need sophisticated AI that can sift through mountains of data, find those subtle attack indicators, real-time threat intel, behavioral analytics. AI powers all that. Like, AI can learn normal user behavior and flag deviations that might mean a breach.
Makes total sense. Can't compete without strong AI today. What else?
Second is customization and easy integration. New players can stand out by offering solutions tailored for specific industries or even specific company needs. And making sure their tech slots easily into existing IT setups is huge.
Adaptability is a selling point.
Exactly. That flexibility can win over organizations with really unique or complex security needs. A hospital, for instance, might have specific compliance requirements a tailored solution could nail.
So finding a niche or being super adaptable. What about the money side, pricing?
Crucial. Competitive pricing and a clear value proposition. New entrants need flexible pricing models. They have to show potential customers a strong ROI.
Prove they're worth switching from an established player.
Right. Highlight what's unique, how they're cost-effective, but without compromising on the advanced features or performance. It's a balancing act, show value and capability.
And the report touched on strategic alliances briefly. How do partnerships fit in?
Yeah, partnerships can be super valuable for newcomers. Teaming up with other tech firms, maybe security specialists, or even industry groups can help them reach more customers, integrate their tech with other tools.
Build up credibility faster.
Exactly. Build trust more quickly than going it alone.
Yeah.
Imagine a new endpoint vendor partnering with a threat intel company that instantly makes their detection smarter.
Okay, let's wrap this up. To summarize our deep dive on the APT protection market, what are the main takeaways for the learner?
I'd say, 1, this market is growing incredibly fast, and it's becoming more vital every day as attacks get smarter. 2, while a few big names dominate currently, Cisco, Microsoft, Palo Alto, McAfee, CrowdStrike, it's a very dynamic field.
Lots of competition.
For sure. 3, there are strong challengers rising, like Kaspersky, Sophos, CyberArk, ForcePoint, each with a unique approach. And 4, new companies can compete if they focus on innovation, especially AI, customization, and demonstrating clear value.
Yeah, we saw the different strengths of the big five: Cisco's integration, Microsoft's scale, Palo Alto's tech focus, McAfee's history, CrowdStrike's endpoint leadership.
And we saw how the challengers are using their specific strengths to carve out space. It's really this interaction, this competition between the established players and the innovators that's driving progress and making everyone's cybersecurity better overall.
All right, the learner, hopefully this deep dive has given you that clear handle on the pretty complex world of APT protection. You should have a better sense now of the key players, their strategies, and the potential of those emerging companies. It's definitely not simple, but knowing the basics here is, well, essential today. Absolutely. And what's really striking is just the constant churn, Attackers innovate, defenders respond, and it just keeps going. It's a field where you have to keep learning.
So true. Which leads to a final thought for you to chew on. With innovation happening so fast on both sides, what's the next big shift in protecting against APTs? Will it be more about, say, proactive threat hunting? Or maybe more collaboration, sharing defense intel across organizations? It's this ongoing arms race, and watching the next phase. That's going to be fascinating. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.